So in that case, you would be preferred
Yeah,
tobacco.
he'd be probably preferred. Yeah, if he doesn't,
Yeah,
he's not taking medications and all that
nothing.
stuff.
No,
He's
no,
good. Yeah,
you're
I
all
would
good.
make preferred. And then on the face amount, what's his situation? He's married, kids, homeowner, all that good
No
stuff.
kids yet. So they're not sure if they can do 500,000 IUL each, or they're going to have to split it between a term and an IUL.
Yeah, I think what you could do that would make sense is give one. I would maybe do. Um, well, let's see what one costs first.
Okay.
Let's let's see the premium on. And then they're young enough. I would shoot for option A, or B to A, or A to B. B to A is good too.
Now, is that the increasing life
Yeah, it's
insurance?
increasing, and then switch like just for cost, keeping costs low, maybe at year 30, switch it to A at year 30. And
Okay.
that'll
So
keep
right
them
now, what do I choose right now?
B to A. Let's do B to A.
Okay.
And then you put Y30. Let's say we run it to year 30. That's
Okay.
with its cash value at that time. That's going to be plenty of death benefit at that time. Okay. I'll show you in the
Okay.
illustration. Now scroll down. Okay, then change it to monthly is good. Okay, let's say pay premium to 67, so A67. Just type in A67. Okay, and let's go down to allocations. 50% Morgan Stanley, 45% S&P, 5% gold, and everything else zero. And gold is just the hedge, so we get something on the bad years, right? When if there's no return, usually gold when the you know economy's going down a little down, people tend to invest in gold, so that's when it usually goes up. So
Okay.
we can catch a little bit of that on a down here. All right, that's it here. Okay, let's go up because the chronic and critical illness are automatic. You don't have to do anything; it's already there, and no additional cost. So scroll all the way up to the top.
All the way to the top.
Let's calculate it. So if you have a pen, so let's take a look at that. Premium summary. Click on premium summary right there at the top right. Okay. All right. So your target is 3120, which breaks down to 216 bucks a month. The way I explain target is to my clients, I say target is what the insurance company suggests that you put away every month for this policy to make sense. If you're
Okay.
not willing to do that at least 260, there's two things we can do. We can lower the coverage to lower your premium. Okay. Um, we want to make sure that it's within your budget. Now, the minimum is what you can lower it to if you had a little bump down the road or something. Let's say 6 months in, maybe you're changing jobs or work slows down and you need to lower your premium, you can lower it to $130 a month because that's the minimum premium. And that premium is guaranteed like for 20 years. Obviously, maybe you just need it for 6 months or a year, however long. So your policy will remain in effect as long as the minimum premium is received. Now, the minimum premium does basically not too much of your money is going into investing at that time. It's basically keeping the policy alive, right?
Okay.
And then your guideline level is the maximum you can contribute to the policy, which is 21,171. Divide that by 12. That's 1,000. We can do all the way up to $1,764 a month. So if you start doing well financially, you should treat this account like a Roth IRA where you start contributing more, right? Don't treat it like life
Okay.
insurance, treat it like a Roth. By dumping the more money you dump in it, your insurance costs are already covered by your monthly investment. So
Correct.
the more money you put in, the more money you're going to have later. And then obviously single premium, that's a one-time IRS code that you can do that you can't invest anymore. And then the 7 pay is allow you to do that amount for 7 years, but then no more after 7 years. So those don't really play a factor. So it's just
Hmm.
the maximum is $1,700 a year. Minimum is $130, and what's recommended is $260 a month. So you have a lot of flexibility inside of your policy. Now let's look at, if you just stay with the 260 and never increase it, but you should, let's look at the policy summary and see what that would look like. Okay, so you can see here, you put in 3,100 the first year, and then your account is valued at 2,100. So of the $3,100, 2,100 went into your investment value, right? And the difference, the remaining share, that covered your $500,000 policy. Okay, that's amazing. That's like really good, by the way. And so what you see here on surrender value, that's how much you're allowed to use of your money. So, I always tell my clients you get partial access after about 4 or 5 years, and then full access after 15 years. So if you were to call me, let's say year 2, and your statement says you have $4,358 and you needed some money out of this, you don't have any access. So I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, you don't have access to it right now. Okay, because the first 3 years there's zero access. You can see that. And then after the 4th year, you get a little bit, and then it starts going up every year after that. And you can see after year 15, the numbers become the same. You have $58,000 saved, and you have access to about $58,000, right? There's 2 ways to take the money out. You can do what's called a standard loan, which is essentially just a withdrawal, okay? Or you can do the alternative loan, which basically you borrow against your account value, so you never actually touch your money. The insurance company sends you a loan, and then you can pay it back whenever you want, right? There's no payment due, just pay maximum interest. They can charge you 5.5%, but the important thing is your principal is never touched, okay? And you never even have to pay back the loan if you don't want. It can be paid back from the death benefit when you pass away. Okay, so let's fast forward to age 67. If you just do, now we're running this at about 7% illustration. You should have about $274,000, 100% tax free. Okay, assuming you don't contribute any more to it by age 100, this thing will keep compounding. We scroll down to the bottom. Have two, keeps compounding, and by age 100, you're gonna have $2.2 million in your account. Okay. Now, obviously, you're not going to have 2.2 million because realistically, you're probably going to be borrowing on this money and using it for retirement purposes, right? So you would just borrow against it as needed. Maybe you want to take out $20,000-$30,000 a year from this account, just to fund your lifestyle, right? You'll be able to do that with this account.
So let me ask you, I see that the annual premium stays the same until age 63, then it goes up a bit, but then it stops at age 67. So at that point, they don't have to make any more payments, but their account continues to grow if they don't withdraw anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's funny that go back to, let's see the inputs. I don't know why it's showing an increase at age, whatever, 50 something. Let me go down and see. Okay, you have target. Okay, so let's do specified instead of target. So just put specified.
Specified level?
Yeah, specified level. And I think it was 260. Just put that like 260. All right, now let's see how that looks like. Let's go back up. There we go. So now it's corrected.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So $267,000 tax free when you're ready to retire, and your death benefit, by the way, is at that time at age 67. Your death benefit's already at what is it at 67? The death benefit. So you start at 500,000.
690.
You're over at 690. Right. That's pretty good. This is a solid IUL for somebody young. Take advantage, and this is assuming they don't increase their monthly. You know what I mean? If they watch this, let's just go scroll down. We're going to change one thing, and then I always show them this. I said, look, this is if you just did the minimum.
Scroll down on.
Oh, sorry, X out of this. We're going to
X out of it.
Then I go. Let's just say, okay. Let's go up. Go up.
Go up.
Right here. Now we're going to do on the premium, we're going to change it to, instead of varied, instead of specified level, do varied. Okay. So let's type in after year, let's say 3, let's move it to $500. Just year 3, type in 500 right there. And let's say year 6, make it 1,000. And let's say year 9, make it 1,500. All right, hit OK. And this just to show them how could project, how could look if you like really treated this more like a Roth IRA instead of just a life insurance policy. Even if you just did the 260, it's great. Okay. Oh, okay. So go back, hit OK. We have to do for 30 years. So go back down. We forgot to put they changed the year 30. So do uh, pay premium to, oh no, it's age 67 specified. Okay. No, that's good. And let's see what the illustration looks like, why it's giving you that. Maybe because once it switches to level, it limits what you can contribute. So we might be putting too much based on the fact that we switched it to level. So here, all right, but that looks great. Okay, check that out. Here's the best
Wow.
part of all this, Gerardo. Okay, he's got $1.6 million, 100% tax free, and we're running this at a 7% illustration rate, 7%. And if you
Mhm.
look at my IUL presentation I showed you, and you look at the Morgan Stanley index last 20 years, it's 10.85.
Okay.
And so potentially this thing could be like 5 million, 6 million, right? If we're
Okay.
getting 3 or 4% more than 7%. So we're being very conservative in our uh, future values. And by the way, let's say, he's like 45 and wants to buy some real estate. He has access to 169,000. Let's say he needs 150,000 he wants to take out,
Hmm.
right? Let's say age 45. Let's put it in there. I'll show you how to put that in there. Let's say, let's put a loan on, scroll down a little bit further, a little further, right here, loan. So let's click on loan withdraw. Let's pick the loan. Yeah.
Schedule loans.
Yeah. Schedule loan.
Okay.
And then pick 1 year. Pick the 1 year at the top for one. We're only going to
Oh,
do
God.
scroll
Is
down
it
a little.
variable or fixed?
Yeah, it's variable.
Okay.
Variable is our borrow against. But scroll back up because we got to change it to 1 year at the top.
Huh. It won't stay there.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
there it is. Okay.
Okay, one for 1 year, duplicate for 1 year, and then put annual on the mode. And then let's say 150,000. What year was that we had that mode?
45, we said.
Okay, 45. Yeah, this is 45. Put 150K. That. I click OK. Now let's go back and look at that illustration. Here's what's crazy, Gerardo. Let's see if it comes out. And it says, what's it say for a here? Well, let's do it. Yeah. Okay. Here's what's amazing. Check this out. The account value is not affected by that $150,000 loan. He continues to earn interest off that $201,000. Okay. So his interest keeps compounding up to, even though he took out 150K. So his surrender value dropped by the 150 because that's what now he's allowed to borrow in the future, only 40, right? Because he took out 150 out, right?
Right.
But his interest is compounding off. There's nothing that does this. There's no retirement plan that does this. You take out 150 from your 401k, you
Yeah.
only got $40,000 left, and that's it. And that's
Yeah.
what you're earning interest on. But he keeps continuing to earn interest on that
On the
201
account value.
on that
Okay.
account value.
Beautiful.
So if you scroll down, let's say, right, if we go to 67, let's say, or 60, let's go to 60. If he wanted to at age 60, he could just pay that loan off of his account value, just transfer it over, the loan's paid off if he wanted to.
Okay.
If he wanted to, I wouldn't. I would just continue to compound. Yes, the interest is still being charged off the 150, which would be, let's say they're charging me 5% interest, percent per year, times how many years is that? That would be about 15 years times 15. Okay. So I probably paid like 100K in interest. So it'd be like the loan balance would be like 250K on that loan. Okay. But my account's valued at almost $1 million. So whatever interest I'm earning is way more than whatever interest I'm being charged on that 150K.
Right, right. Okay.
So that loan can be paid back at any time. If it's like, oh, I don't want to have this loan anymore, pay back a portion of it, maybe 80K of it from your account value. Maybe but you would do that later once you use that compound interest to help grow your money. You know, but that's the power in IUL, that you don't lose your compound interest potential when you take a loan out. I mean, I think
And
that's just amazing.
this is how you present it and show what the options are. You don't necessarily send them an actual illustration, a
No, I
written.
just show them this. So what I do is I give them scenarios like I'm doing with you right now. And then once we come out, that looks amazing. Once we come out with the premium that they're comfortable with, let's say, so I'm just showing them different scenarios. But he goes, yeah, I think I can do 260. Great. Then I'm just going to take it back to the 260 target. Okay. And then so let's say 260 is good. So we scroll down and I'm just going to switch it to target right there, premium type, go back to target.
Mm,
Okay. Calculate.
by doing that, it removed everything else that we
Remove
did.
everything we've done. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? We probably got to go down to the bottom, remove the loan. The loan's still in there. So we got to take
Okay.
that out. All right, let's take that out. So just on the loan, just change that to
None.
none. Yeah, there we go. Now we can schedule. Now we can calculate. So they're like, okay. So I just gave them a bunch of different scenarios of how it can look for them, right?
Right.
But now this is the actual illustration that we're going to run. Okay. Because I said, look, this is what I think you should do. You should add more money every few years, add an extra $500. You're probably doing better. You probably can invest more. This is what the policy can do for you if you really take advantage of it. Right. Um, but they say this is good, looks good, X that out.
And
And the
basically,
first
this
thing,
is what this here is, or is the maximum?
21,171.
Oh, per year,
The level is the maximum you can put in per year. The
the
minimum
guideline
is,
level premium,
yeah, that's the maximum you can
21,000.
contribute. That's the IRS kind of, I like to say, like, that's the bucket. You can't overfill your bucket. It's a $21,171 bucket. You can't overfill it. Okay. But you can fill it
Okay.
right to the top. And it's 1,500 is the minimum. So that's $130. So should you have a letter speed bump, you call me up, we'll lower your premium, tell me how much time you need, and we'll bring it back up later. Okay.
Okay.
Now, oh, one thing I forgot to show you is when we did go back and put it, just let's do a quick specified. Just go down to the target and change it to specified and just put like $1,000. Right there, right,
So
right there, right there. Premium
target.
specified. Put 1,000. I just forgot to point this out to you. Okay, let's run it. So another benefit of, even though we open up with 260, another incentive for you to add is you get quicker access to your money. Okay. So look what happens now. Remember the first 3 years, you didn't have any access the first 3 years?
Right.
Because you contributed what we call overfunded your policy. You have access after the third year of almost 25,000 that you can borrow against, right? So like everything got moved up. So adding more allows you quicker access to your money.
Okay.
So now we go back, let's put it back to target. So that's another incentive by adding more than just your target, right? Or the suggested amount.
So I see that the death benefit continues to increase. Is there any way, or does it make sense for it to just stay level and that way your money grows even faster?
You can, but here's the problem with that. Switch it to level. I'll show you why. Just put it to death benefit. Go up. No, leave that
Oh,
there. Leave that the same. Go to right there. Yeah, just put it option A, which is level.
A.
Yeah.
Right.
So yes, your money can grow faster with option A, but look what happens. Here's the problem with it. Calculate. The size of your policy determines how much you can put into it, right? So we were basing it on 500,000 before. Now go to premium summary. Remember it was 21,000 before? What is it now
Right.
per year?
6,800.
Yeah, so he's limited to no more than 500 bucks a month when he puts it level.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else remains the same. Nothing else changes, but that part
Right.
changes. And yes, it
Okay.
will grow faster, but it's just kind of like an art, right? You got to kind of find that fine balance that works for everybody. So B allows you to do more, and that's why I wouldn't switch it to A till later, like 30 years later. Then it's good. Let's towards the back end. Let's bring the costs down on the back end, right? Allow my
Okay.
money to really start to grow on the back end. But in the beginning, it allows me to be aggressive and dump more money into the policy. And so when I'm ready, the
And what's
process
option B? Option B is
it's just
reduce.
increasing. It just stays increasing the whole time.
Okay.
So if we go to B to A and I'll show you the difference. Put I think age 67 is what we did at age 67, right?
That was down here at
No, it's
payment
year
mo.
30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
year 30.
Okay, yeah, leave it that way. So let's go look. This is year 30. I'll show you B to A, what happens. And then we'll just do B. Okay, let's go to year 30. Okay. So at year 30, what happens to the death benefit?
Yeah, it went up for the account value or surrender
Yeah, well,
value
now my
alone.
death benefit stops increasing, right? So it just stays
Ah,
at 690 forever, right?
gotcha.
Okay, so basically I froze, okay, my life insurance at that point, and actually my 500,000 actually starts to go down little by little at that point. Okay, so then it's bringing my cost of insurance down, which allows my money to grow more. Okay, now if we go back up, remember that number 690 at 30, and then it's also stays at, you could keep going all the way up. Let's go up all the way up. Down, sorry, down. See
Oh,
there. If you look at the numbers, let's say look at it at age 85, okay, you can see the cash value is 810, and then the death benefit is 851. So do you know? So at that point, I really only have about $40,000 of life insurance inside of my policy. I kind of have
mm,
self-insured myself,
okay.
which means my cost is very low. Okay. Now let's go up. Let's make it A. Let's just do, excuse me, B.
B. Yeah. Do you change anything here?
No.
Nope.
Just go up to let's run it. But we're going to pay attention to the death benefit now. After 30 years, you're going to see that it's not going to pause at 690. So after year 30, my death benefit, it's at 690, but it continues to increase at that point. Now, if I
Okay.
were to run a side-by-side comparison, yes, you would have more money with the level, of course, because I'm lowering my cost over time. Okay. It's not too crazy, right? I think it was what age 80 was like 1.2, 85 was like 1.2 million or something. Right.
Right.
Now it's like 534, right? So yeah, so that's why you want to switch it. So the best way to run it is B to A, let's say after year 30. That allows me to be aggressive in my early years and
In
bring
the
my
first
costs
30
down.
years, is that
Yeah,
what it's
first 30
doing?
years. And you can do it however you want. You can do it for 20 years, you can do it for 10 years, right? It allows me to be a little aggressive in the beginning, and then bring my costs down on the back end, which allows my money to compound more. And I
Okay.
kind of self-insured myself through my cash, through my investments, through my growth.
Okay.
And then now, when I'm ready, if the client agrees, it goes, "This looks amazing. I'm ready to go." Then you just do the view. Uh, so view and no, sorry, review and sign. I want to sign my illustration, so you can fix all that later. So this would take you to what is it asking for? What did it ask for?
My information.
Okay, click on it again.
Please enter
Oh, okay.
agent's
So we got
first
to
and
add.
last
We
name.
haven't added a. So top right where it says profile, just click on your profile right there. My profile. Yeah, you just got to put that in there. you can use our office address if you don't want to use your home address.
Oh, we can? What is that?
Yeah, because this is what's going to show on your illustration.
Okay.
21300 Victory Boulevard, Suite 640. On the second line, you put Suite. Yes, put it on the Suite 640 is fine. Woodland Hills. Nine 91367. Your phone number should go up there.
Is that it?
Yeah. Put your state.
Oh,
The very bottom. Okay.
even if they're in Idaho, I still put in California, right? Because that's where I'm.
Yeah. You still put in California. Okay. I'm surprised they didn't ask you for your license. Click OK. Okay. Go up to the top tab and just move to quotes and illustrations. Second tab. That brings you back to where we were. Okay. Now, what happens if you click preview and e-sign?
Is it review or view?
Review. Sorry, review. Review and e-sign. So, back in the old days when my policy got approved, okay, I would have to go back, like the policy gets issued, then I'd have to deliver the policy and get a signed illustration done. Okay. Now I can get a pre-signed illustration done. So this is just, you can hit close. This is just showing your illustration, which you're already seen. Okay. And then you go to right over here at the bottom, it says continue. Next. Yeah, click next. Okay, we're going to click on the review the terms and then X out of those terms. Okay, a little bit down further. It says review terms above.
Okay.
Now it's kind of hidden. Now just close this out. Close this page out. There we go. Now just click on your name and their name. Apply the signatures. The illustration has now been signed. You're going to get a signed copy of it. What you're going to do is when it pops up, you're going to save this on your desktop. Okay. You're going to save this on your desktop. And when you do your application, close this out. Let's just close it out. And let's go ahead and let's go back and unlock this again. So go back. Hit the back button at the bottom. So you would have saved that and put that on your desktop and then click unlock illustration and it takes it back to us as now it's not signed again. Okay. Return to illustration input page. Okay, we're back. Okay. So you would have saved that signed illustration on your desktop. And then when you do the application, it's going to say, do you have a signed illustration? You click yes, and then you download that one into the
Gotcha.
And then by the way, at the end of the application, you're going to miss it because it's already checked off for you. Okay. There's a box at the end of the application that asks, do you want this policy delivered to your client? Just make sure yes, you check on that one. You don't want, otherwise they're going to deliver it to you at your
Then
address.
I have to.
You're going to have to mail it to them and all that
Right.
stuff. Okay.
Okay.
But if you just send it to them, you already have the illustration already signed. If it gets issued, you're done. They're going to get it in the mail. Everything's done. There is nothing else you need to do. That's like the smoothest way to get it through. But if you miss that little checkbox, it gets sent to you.
Okay. Gotcha.
But that's how you sign illustrations now. It's just go through there. And then remember, when you do the application, your allocations have to match your illustration or they won't accept your illustration that you sent in. You'd have to get it re-signed again. So whatever you choose with allocations must match your whatever you put into your application.
Am I able to take this all the way through? Am I taking the full medical application over the phone, or does this send them at some point?
Well, when you do the application, it's going to do the medical questions. And it's pretty extensive on the underwriting medical questions that you have to go through with them. But like you already told me, he's healthy, doesn't take any medications. So I know, just knowing that when I get to them, I'm just no, 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 because it's like 30 of them, right? So I just boop, 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 no, 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 no. I just hit all no's. So I don't sit there and read every single line.
Right.
I'll be like, Mr. and Mrs. Client, are there any medications that you currently take or have taken recently or in the, let's say, the last 10 years for things like blood pressure or just anything, cholesterol, blood sugar, anything that you take or any health issues they wish you'd let them know about? And just to let you know, they will check your pharmaceutical records. They already know every medication you're already taking. So
Right.
we just need to disclose to them and tell them why, so they don't make any assumptions on why you took that certain medication. And they go, no, I don't take a medication. I'm completely healthy. That's all knows to me. I'm not going to read all that stuff. And whatever they tell
Okay.
me to look for it, I don't. Like, I'm not going to ask them if the AIDS question or cancer question if they have just it's just for cholesterol, right? I'm just going to look for the cholesterol one and pick that
And
one
that's it.
and type in took the metformin for 50 milligrams, no longer takes it as healthy, whatever it comes out
Let's see. So I know with Corebridge, you have the option of filling in the basic information and then forwarding them the application, and then they complete all the medical questions. Do we have
Well,
that
here
option here?
we still gotta ask the medical questions, which is kind of, I think, like you said, redundant because they're pulling their medical records anyways. Um, but we still got to. I mean, I get through that in less than 2 minutes. So we still got to ask.
Okay.
Now it's pretty standard, I'd say, in 30% of my cases. Obviously it's non-med, so there's no blood or urine checks, right?
Okay.
So I'm not putting smokers down if they had a cigarette like 3 months ago or something like that. I'm not putting
Correct.
smokers, right? Um, but they will do a personal questionnaire about 30% of the time. And you have to have your client call the phone number and they'll ask him, maybe it's something they didn't they forgot about. Oh, I broke my arm 4 years ago and I was taking pain medication. And they went, oh, what was this medication for on this date? Shows this.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. And it's good. Then they figure it out, and then it's usually a 5-minute call, and that's the most your client will have to do is call back and do the questionnaire.
Okay. Very cool. Um,
But other
okay.
than that,
All
if
right.
they're healthy and everything checks out, they'll probably get issued within a few days.
Okay. So it's not an instant issue with
Sometimes it is.
sometimes it is. Okay.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's within hours you'll be issued.
Okay. Very cool. All right. That covers pretty much everything. Are you able to, how do I get the copy of the recording? Do you
Oh yeah,
send
let me
that?
do that right now. If you want to stop share,
Stop share. Okay.